20 years ago, I spent an afternoon with my father, but not at a movie theater, not at a zoo, not sharing a bubble tea like any child might dream of. I was visiting him in a labor camp. He was imprisoned and tortured simply for belief in Falun Gong. 2 decades later, he's being illegally arrested again for the 5th time. My father, Wang Jian, is currently unlawfully detained in Taicang, China. He was arrested in August last year simply for practicing Falun Gong. Just last month, he was subjected to an illegal trial held inside the detention center and now faces another long prison sentence, along with the life-threatening risk of forced organ harvesting. I'm his daughter, and I'm deeply worried for his fate and safety. I stand here today not only as a daughter, but as someone whose family has endured over 2 decades of brutal repression for our belief in Falun Gong. Since 1999, my father has been detained at least 5 times. He was first sentenced to 3 years in a labor camp, followed by 4 years in prison, then another 5 years after that. During his unlawful detention, my father endured relentless persecution. In prison, he was deprived of sleep for 5 consecutive days and nights, while his hands and feet were cruelly tied to a hardboard for 7 days straight. Under intense pressure, he was coerced into confessing to baseless charges and forced to renounce his faith. He was also forced to watch propaganda videos that slandered Falun Gong. Throughout his imprisonment, he suffered unimaginable physical and physiological torture. Each time he was released, we asked him what he went through in detention center, but he often avoided talking about it. Looking back now, I realize it was probably too much and too painful for him to recall. All the persecution he has endured is simply because he practices Falun Gong and strives to be a good person. His only so-called crime is holding on to his faith and standing up for the truth. For those of you who may not know, Falun Gong is a peaceful spiritual practice based on the principles of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance. Like many others, my father experienced great improvement in both his physical and mental health after he started practicing. However, in July 1999, Falun Gong's popularity led to a nationwide crackdown ordered by Jiang Zemin, then head of the regime. The state mobilized its full power to suppress it, violently and without mercy. Sadly, my father's story is not unique. This is just another example among countless others. Thousands of Falun Gong practitioners have been tortured to death in custody. Many have been victims of forced organ harvesting. CCP is a regime that silences truth with violence and destroys lives without remorse. A regime that rules through violence, deceit, theft, and corruption. It is the CCP that has persecuted my father for more than 10 years. It is the CCP that has torn my family apart. It is the CCP that has been trying to eradicate all peaceful Falun Gong practitioners for the past 26 years. On this day of international solidarity, I respectfully urge you to stand with the victims of torture in China and help expose these atrocities. You may be wondering how you can help end this persecution. First, please take a flyer. Second, take a photo of today's event and share it on social media to help spread the word about my story to your family and friends. Third, you can sign the protest letter to the Chinese embassy in New Zealand, calling for the immediate release of my father. Your voice could make a real difference and even influence the outcome of his trial. Thank you all for your time, your support, and for standing here with me in this fight for justice.